So you know, because the Dream Team podcast, myself, Nate Allen, Joey Sings, and Hot Sauce Beats, we interviewed the one and only EvanMCGaming. So today, I'm checking out the Legend of Philza, King of Hardcore Minecraft. Welcome back, friends, and a special welcome to all the new friends out there. I'm YoBGS, editing YoBGS here, and I remembered in the last video I said I wanted to shout out some of the people who got their techno plushies, so we're gonna get everybody pulled up here who let me know that in the last video and give them some love because they gave techno some love. If you like this, by the way, if you want to maybe get a shout out in the next video, why not subscribe? Let me know in the comments that you're subscribed, and hey, maybe I'll shout you out next time. And once we release the episode of the Dream Team podcast with EvanMC, I'll leave a link in the description down below. It was so much fun. He is the coolest dude and like the most inspiring to content creators ever because he works so hard at amazing stuff like this. The Legend of Philza, King of Hardcore Minecraft. Now, Kaya is his sister. They work on these together. It is amazing. So here we go. Legend of Philza, King of Hardcore Minecraft.
Hardcore Minecraft, chances are you know Philza. From surviving for 5 years without dying to creating some of the most jaw-dropping builds in hardcore Minecraft, Phil has established himself as one.
By the way, those builds are what make Philza so remarkable because, like, I could survive 5 years in my hardcore world, you know, just log in, mine a piece of iron, put it in the furnace, stop playing for the day. But the fact that Phil built and made this phenomenal world, like that to me is what's so amazing.
The game. So join me.
And that was even before there were as many tutorials as we have now.
The Legend of Philza.
We have so many resources. I love that intro.
Phil started his channel in December 2006, and YouTube was a much different place. The platform had just been purchased by Google less than a month earlier and was barely a year old. At the time, the gaming community was...
By the way, how ridiculous is it that Google bought YouTube for $1 billion, and now you think about, like, there are people that make cryptocurrencies based on nothing that get bought for more than $1 billion.
Much smaller and was mostly confined within the games
Red
themselves
versus blue,
and small
let's
online
go!
forums rather than on major platforms like those we see today. At the time, 18-year-old Phil was like most other 18-year-olds and enjoyed playing video games such as Halo
like Ninja?
2, which happened to be what his first video was about.
Dude, Halo 3 is so pog.
Phil continued to post the occasional Halo video as well as videos on Skate 2 and 3, Sonic, GTA, Killtack, and Mirror's Edge. He also began...
I want to live in the alternate universe. Did he speedrun? Is that what that said? Time out.
Killtack and Mirror's Edge.
I want to live in the alternate universe where Philza became a speedrunner.
He also began to play these games live on Justin TV, which later evolved into Twitch.
It's a good thing he didn't stream on Ustream.
And for his first 5 years, he continued to stream and upload funny clips and moments from his gameplay. But something happened in November 2011 that would change the course of his channel and YouTube forever.
Bum, bum, bum. That's right, chickens and cows living together.
Minecraft took the world by storm, becoming an instant hit following its release. Its unique style and open world nature had a sense of freedom that appealed to many. One of these people was Phil. Although he had enjoyed playing video games for many years, there was...
I can't imagine, by the way, Phil being like... I can't imagine Phil being a sweaty Halo kid. Phil is just too nice. You know what I mean?
There was always a new game on the horizon that he would move to. No game seemed to stick for more than a few years. No game until
because Minecraft. Halo puts out, you know, new games every year.
Great liking to the game, specifically the game mode of Hardcore. If you aren't familiar with Hardcore Minecraft, it's pretty simple. The game is locked on the hardest difficulty, and if you die a single time, you can't respawn and are forced to either spectate the world or delete the world for good. Phil loved the risk involved with hardcore, and the idea that at any moment he could lose everything.
How many worlds
this
did he
made
lose?
Everything he did feel more meaningful than if he could just respawn with no.
Why would you play hardcore? Oh my god, what if you died? Well, the answer to that is simple. In hardcore mode, everything you do feels more significant. Every decision you make has massive consequences, and ultimately I feel I get more enjoyment from the game, knowing that I could lose all my progress to one stupid death. Going back to vanilla just seems boring to me, unless it's on a server with other people to keep things interesting. Perhaps one of those people is named Dream. Perhaps another one is a 10-year-old who will go by the name of Tommy in it. That's right, Philza the Future Seer.
No consequences. And before long, he took to YouTube, creating his very first series.
So he literally only died in 3 worlds. The 5-year one and 2 before that. I've lost more than 5 worlds on this stream.
Hardcore Minecraft. Phil uploaded his very first hardcore video on February 7th, 2012.
And he had 2 million subs back then? Jesus Christ.
It was a rough start.
Ah! I've got no sword. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. No! Oh god.
Boo! He'll never make
Phil came
it.
Prepared and determined to make it through the first night, which proved to be a difficult task in the early days of the game.
Boo!
He began his new journey by chopping a few trees and crafting some wooden tools. This time making sure to craft a sword and quickly upgrade to stone in case he needed to fight. And after gathering some food, Phil set out to make a shelter for the night. He made his way to the mouth of a cave and decided he would explore for a bit and set up camp inside. At first, he was hesitant to enter, hearing the monsters that lied ahead. But using his sword, he made quick work of everything in his way. For the rest of episode 1, Phil continued to mine and fight his way through the depths of the cave until he decided to wall off a small section and settle down for the night.
Dude, good on him. I have Diamond Prot 4 armor in my world right now, and I still don't like fighting mobs.
Satisfied with his accomplishments, Phil ended his first successful hardcore video.
Bravo, my friend.
Over the next few episodes, Phil would continue to explore his cave and mine, managing to acquire a full set of iron armor and tools. Now feeling very confident at his ability to fight, Phil returned to the surface and began exploring his world. He crossed forests and oceans looking for the perfect place to call home. And in episode 9, his days of exploration finally led him.
Episode 9? He had 7 episodes of exploration.
Immediately, he knew this was the perfect place to stay and constructed his first official home. After this, some more underground exploring ensued where he managed to find a zombie spawner and mineshaft, followed by his very first diamonds. And with his sword in hand, Phil entered the Nether for the very first time, knowing that one false step could end his journey for good.
Yep.
He traversed
I like that Evan has to keep using the same footage of him dying in the one spot because Phil just doesn't die.
Wasteland, crossing lakes of lava and fighting off gas until he found himself at the foot of a strange building. Immediately, he knew he found what he was looking for and began to explore the fortress. He traveled the maze of hallways, slaying every blaze in his path with the draw of his bow until he had everything he needed and
epic!
Everything was going well, and Phil, who had died on episode 1 the previous attempt, now stood on his 30th episode. And he knew that before long he would have to take the biggest risk of the entire series.
Blueska do, we
Phil
can
stood
too.
in the daring halls of the stronghold. He knew what lied beyond the portal, but it didn't make it any less terrifying.
Dude, I will be in my world for 5 years before I go to the end. Like, the fact that Phil just went for it and continue, like, dude, there's a reason, like I said, because there are people that have had very long hardcore worlds before that didn't attract nearly the attention that Phil did. And it's because, like, everyone thinks of Phil as cautious, right? Because hardcore guy, you can't die. But he was so cavalier in what he did.
And before he went for the dragon, he knew he had to prepare. Because if he failed, everything he worked for
always
would be
that
lost
death
with the
screen
click of a button.
The same
He
clip.
set up a house in a village next to the stronghold and immediately began to prepare for the final battle. He learned to brew potions, scoured forests to create an army of dogs, and continued to pile better and better enchantments onto his armor. Finally,
Still
he returned
iron
home
armor
to the
though.
mountain
That's
gather
interesting
any
to
left
me.
supplies and to say goodbye in case he didn't make it back.
Hey, the tree
He made his
dome!
way across the world and back to the portal. Finally, he would face the ultimate challenge. And in episode 70, a full month after his first failed attempt at hardcore, Philza placed the final eye in the portal and jumped through to slay the dragon.
So hype!
He spawned on a mostly concealed underground platform, and following a quick
But they also
stare by
don't
the
play on
dragon,
hardcore,
climbed a
Emil.
staircase to the surface.
Or do
of the
they?
end. Towers of obsidian rose high into the sky, and a beam of light connected to the dragon as he glided by. Immediately, Phil drew his bow and began shooting down the crystals. He launched arrows as far as he could into.
By the way, Evan is crushing it in this video. This is so, like, this is just so hype in general. Because we've seen this, you know what I mean, hundreds of times before, but I'm sitting here like an inch away from my screen. Like, what is he going to do? You gotta give Evan the props
the dark
for this.
Sky, swinging his sword as the dragon rushed in to attack. Slowly but surely, the dragon's health dropped.
Also crazy
Before
that
long,
he's
the
7
dragon
minutes in
rushed
and he's already
one
killing the dragon.
last time. Quickly, Phil aimed his bow, sending the final arrow spiraling into the head of the dragon, killing it. And with that, Phil had for the first time beat Minecraft without dying. Following his victory, Phil entered the portal to return to the overworld and was sent all the way back to spawn far from his home in the mountain. Being completely lost, he just decided to end the video, and
Wait, why did that do that?
Phil decided that for now, this would be the end of the series. Over the following months, Phil would continue to upload Minecraft content, creating a mod series titled Modtacular Minecraft, playing various adventure maps, as well as creating a few non-Minecraft videos. So
I like
far,
it.
Although Phil enjoyed streaming and uploading videos, nothing seemed to be gaining much traction. But regardless, Phil loved his small
Youngza!
community and was motivated by every person that found their way to his channel. 6 months later, Phil decided he would log back on to his hardcore world and continue the series. After reviewing footage, he retraced.
Is Phil an only child? And I don't say that as like an insult, but just as somebody who has a younger sibling who knows that if you leave a save file unattended for a couple months, it can vanish. That's why I'm like, Phil must be an only child. He left his save file just with confidence.
His steps, eventually finding his way back to his home in the village outside the
Dude, at least his sister is pretty pog if she didn't delete his file.
And prepare to fight the new boss that had been added to the game, the Wither.
The Wither!
He started by making a mob grinder using the skeleton spawner outside the village. Then, over the next few episodes, he mined for ores and expanded his home quite a bit, creating a large carrot and wheat farm, sugarcane farm, villager spawner, and just improving the overall
No
look
potatoes though, he hadn't met Techno yet.
He then began to experiment with nether travel, creating a nether hub and a portal to another area he wanted to build at. Walking through the portal, you're met with his impressive underwater base and tree farm. Phil conquered.
I love that underwater base. I saw it in the tour of like his 5-year tour video. That underwater base is, mwah, I love those so much.
It was nowhere in sight, and it seemed he could finally focus on creating the.
Alright guys, Philza here. Bad news. Recently I just had a power outage in my area. Everything in the house is fine, but one thing, my PC. It starts up okay, to the point where it needs to boot from a hard drive, and it looks like my main operating system hard drive is just gone. It's doing the click of death error, where it just won't be able to read anything. What's really annoying is that my Minecraft Hardcore mode save world is on that hard drive.
No!
It could be lost forever, unfortunately. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Weeks passed.
Call the FBI, right? Call CSI, call Scotland Yard, call those people that like call Merryweather Security from GTA 5, right? Call the FIB, call like we need to get that world back. Okay, he got it? Okay, good. If he got it, Z-Trick, I'm not gonna worry. Okay, one world down, on to the next. Philza only lives in the present. You gotta love that.
Phil began to upload different videos again, and quickly it became clear. His hardcore series was over. A year of work, 100 episodes lost in the data of a ruined hard drive.
I'm from the future.
Another year came and went. Phil continued to upload Minecraft and the occasional Halo or GTA video. But once again, he started to get the urge to return.
Adorbza, am I right?
Something felt wrong and unfinished about his last.
Oh, dude, they'd be pulling my computer out of the drywall if that happened.
And seeking to fill its void, he decided to start a new series. But little did he know, this click of a button would change his life forever. Upon entering the world, Phil found himself near the edge of a savanna island. He was pretty convinced the series would end very quickly with the bad spawn, but decided to explore the other side of the island to see if he could spot land. And sure enough, as he reached the other side of the island, he noticed it was actually very close to more land. Suddenly, this world began to have some promise, and he crossed the water to continue exploring. Having much more experience than Series 1, Phil had a much smoother start to the world. And rather than running around aimlessly for the first few episodes, Phil managed to get a full set of iron armor by the end of episode 2.
But see, there's something to that innocence, right? There's something to that, like, watching somebody struggle, watching somebody learn things. I think that's why, like, we like Luke the Notable so much, right? Because Luke even admitted, like, he didn't know redstone. He didn't know these fancy different things. He just kind of built his base where he was because that's what he wanted. You know, he just felt like making the best out of what he had. So there's something to that alongside this, like, being able to start again with new knowledge.
Phil came inches from death and found his first diamonds of the world. Gathering obsidian, he made his way to the surface to try and get the supplies to make an enchanting table before heading into the nether, which he managed to find no problem after running into a village. After looting the village and a nearby desert temple, Phil stood at the foot of a building, flint and steel in hand, ready to enter the nether.
Not bad.
Already, his luck had been even better than Series 1. And it was about to get even better.
He also knew what he was looking for this time, and he was playing on a later version. What?
Am I the luckiest person ever?
Show us your mod folder, Philza.
But his luck wouldn't end there, as when he killed his second ever wither skeleton, it dropped a skull, which alone is a 2% chance. Series 2 was off to an amazing start, and would only get better.
Holy
In
crap,
episode 6, Phil discovered a zombie spawner directly outside the village, and in episode 7 and 8, he found another village and a jungle temple. By this point, Phil had put together a nice little home in the desert village, not too different from Series 1. This time, he planned to fight the dragon much sooner than episode 7.
Oh, I mean, he's gonna wreck FaZe.
Was just held back by a lack of ender pearls. He explored some more, finding himself a horse with which he discovered 4 more villages, a jungle temple, and 2 desert temples.
This world is so plentiful.
Just wasn't seeming
I love
to run
it.
out. What is supposed to be the hardest difficulty of Minecraft was flat out easy for Phil. And still, his luck continued. He had a close call with a baby zombie at the spawner off camera, but managed to survive.
Ah!
And later
Baby
that episode,
zombies
he used
ever
a fortune
killing
pickaxe
people,
to
yeah,
mine
right.
all of the diamonds he needed for a full set of armor, as well as a bit extra for good measure. As confident as ever, Phil was ready to fight the dragon. He just needed to find the stronghold. He threw the first eye, which pointed him to the ocean. Getting in a boat, he sailed across the sea, and as he made his way towards an island,
Philza
he noticed something out
Minecraft
of
in
place
21-2 sailed the ocean blue.
What?
What's up, Dreamers Poggers?
His luck never seemed to fail. And as excited as ever,
Dude,
Phil dived
how?
deep below the surface, entering the portal room. Once again, the moment of truth had arrived. But this time, he was more ready than ever. As he fell through the portal, he once again spawned underground, and was immediately scared by the dragon. He dug to the surface, destroyed all the towers, and before long, Phil had slain the dragon once again.
I don't think you ever stopped
His plan
panicking
after
at that
killing
point,
the
by
dragon
the
was
way.
to work on building. He started with his base at the village, adding a baby zombie statue on his house next to the villager training center he built.
No! I didn't know about all this stuff. I had no idea. And yeah, the Dream SMP is awesome. But like, I had no idea that he built a baby zombie
few episodes
statue.
back. And with that, Zombie Base, at least
Oh,
for
that
now,
hurts my-
was finished.
That hurts.
Next, Phil turned his attention to the Nether,
all the
specifically making
mobs.
it much safer. First, he used a glitch to remove bedrock, creating a path to the Nether roof. Next, after lots of trial and error, he built a path through the Nether connecting Zombie Base and the End Portal. And as an extra precaution, he spawn-proofed a large section of the Nether with slabs so he wouldn't have to worry about mobs. Now that the Nether is sorted out, he
I wish I would have seen Evan. You gotta get your videos out sooner. If I knew about the slabs, I had a jungle world that I loved that unfortunately I lost because, you know, creeper on the roof and plopped right down into my
the seas,
well,
finding
you
an
know.
ocean monument not too far from his home. Before raiding it, he planned to remove the water next to the entrance of the temple to protect himself from guardians and make enough water-breathing potions to last him the whole trip.
Genius.
He stared down the path to the monument, preparing to enter. However, even though he was about as prepared as he could be, he still feared that that day would be his last. He made his way to the cleared door. Swallowing his fear in a potion of water breathing, Phil entered the monument. He swam his way through the halls, looking for an Elder Guardian. But
Yay!
he couldn't seem to find one.
Dire Docs.
Until, walking around a corner, he quickly spotted two of them in the same room. Using the walls as protection, he swung at the beast from behind the doorway.
The
finishing him
chunky
off
boys
with
can't
a
get
shot
through.
From his bow. A few minutes later, he located the third Elder Guardian, easily slaying it with his sword.
I was just staring at the wall.
lived.
It wasn't hurting anybody.
And now that the monument was cleared, he could begin work on his first major build. A build that would grow to become the face of his channel.
Oh,
The first order of business was to cover
that
the entire
footage, by the
monument in
way.
sand.
Like, I don't know. I should have asked him who his inspirations were, but some of the ways that Evan films these, that's like how fit. You know, like some of the ways these are filmed in replay, they give me big time Fit MC vibes. And I'm not saying like, you know, I'm not saying it's like shot for shot or anything, but I love the way that they're set up like that.
Break the sand to remove all of the water above the monument. And after weeks of grinding, placing and destroying sand, he finished. Next, he planned to terraform the ocean floor, replacing the gravel with grass blocks to make the area look more natural. And after yet another week of grinding,
yes, the natural
build
hole in the
finally
ground.
seemed to be coming together. But there was still a lot left to do.
Wait, he was doing something similar in his hardcore world now. Because I remember Philza and Tommy get in a Discord call with him while he's doing this, and they started arguing like petulant children about something. Oh, it's a Guardian
And so,
farm. Duh.
for the next 5 months, Phil continued to build.
My bad. Dude, Mario in concert, am I right? How many kids do I have? I have all of the kids. Ew, wait, no. Don't take that out of context. Dude, I love this. I don't know what it does, but, you know, I'm loving the music. Giant mushrooms. Dude, if you don't have a mushroom room in your house, you know, are you even vibing?
Complete. Seamless walls of glass surrounded the land. Green grass covered the once barren ground, and a guardian farm occupied the space underneath the
To be
monument.
fair, the bottom of an ocean would probably be full of silt, which is like profoundly fertile land. So I wouldn't call it barren.
But in the middle of the final stages of the build, Phil received some terrible news.
No.
His good friend in the community, 22-year-old Matthew Adams, had tragically passed away.
No.
Phil took a much-needed break from work and recording.
God damn it.
When he returned, he knew exactly what he was going to do. Out of honor, he would dedicate the project to Matthew, vowing to not hold anything back and to make the best build he possibly could. And what resulted cannot be described with words.
Dude, why does the world work that way? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody gets Philza's hero story without tragedy. And I wholeheartedly believe Philza would have become Philza regardless. But like, every hero story has that. The moment of just profound sadness that makes you again, makes me want to just put my mic into the wall. Like, I don't know about the kid that they were talking about in the video, but he seems like a good dude. You know, if he was friends with Philza, he's good people as far as I'm concerned. But like, I don't know. Without rehashing a million different things, that's awful for Phil to deal with. It's awful for that kid's family, the Minecraft community, like everybody who knew him. Why? Again, you know, I guess life isn't fair because nobody deserves to have that happen. But it's nice that Phil was able to carry on in his memory. It's nice that Philza has been able to go on to become, you know, what Philza is sort of in memory of that person. And I don't know. I don't know that I would be a strong enough person to dedicate a central hub of my build to my friend because, you know, I wouldn't want to mourn them every time I walked in that building. But again, Phil's a Minecraft better man than I am, for sure. But like I said, good on him, you know? Phil didn't grandstand about it. He didn't make it this big deal. He just did it because he wanted to. And well covered by Evan, by the way. Like, not dwelling on it, not getting into the details of that dude's whatever happened. Like, big props all the way around. That is awesome. Because it's got a halo. I love it. I also like the squid dancing.
It was finally done. Months of work, not a single death, and the most amazing build he had ever done. Suddenly, the world had a whole new meaning, something much bigger than a game. And with the completion of the monument build, Phil realized how truly amazing he could be at building and that quite literally, the sky was the limit. After leveling Spawn Island and building a giant mushroom in the Nether, Phil began his next major build in the world.
Only in a Philza Minecraft stream could you get away with just glossing over that. He leveled Spawn, he built a giant mushroom in the Nether, but we got more important things to talk about then. If I did either of those two things, that would be on my tombstone. That would be like my life's crowning achievement. Yeah, nah, he just built a giant mushroom. That was typical Tuesday for Philza.
Sky City. He began construction once again using an ocean monument. First, he planned to drop a large cube of sand onto the monument to create an outline above the water. And after weeks of mining and placing sand, he was ready to drop it all.
Drop the bomb!
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm expecting the game to crash. Oh my god. Oh, it looks like, oh, it's speeding up, it's speeding up. Oh, are we done?
Cascade! Where is Cascada?
Now that phase 1 was complete, Phil was ready for phase 2, the quartz monument. His plan was to use quartz to replace the shell of sand, creating his own custom monument above the sea. And, well, it turned out pretty amazing.
Dude!
Next up was the Sky City.
To have that idea and have it work!
Phil began by building a large platform in the sky in case he needed to jump down while
Listen
building.
to this, by the way. I have to go back, because as somebody who yeah, right? Built a giant mushroom, feeling good. Is somebody who does VO for a living, voiceover stuff, if you listen, Evan, I don't want to say Evan's buying into his own hype, But you can hear Evan getting pumped up talking about this. This is so cool. Like, Evan is genuinely excited here, and I love it.
Next up was the Sky City part of Sky City. Phil began by building a large platform in the sky in case he needed to jump down while building.
You hear that?
Then
He's
he
pumped.
proceeded to construct a large floating island directly above the quartz monument. Unsure of exactly what he wanted to build on top, he left it blank for the time being.
That's not the build? Unsure of what he wanted to build, he had already built something that anyone would be jealous of.
He decided to build a large castle wall encompassing a village with quartz buildings, as well as some extra decorations around the outside islands. Slowly but surely, the build was coming together.
God.
Just a few more things needed to be done. And once he finished the inside of the island and destroyed the platforms below, Sky City was finally finished.
That is glorious. I'm sure he did. Yeah, I mean, look at all the arrows. Yeah, but like, can he build a dirt hut though? I don't know. I don't think so.
At this point, Phil had survived on one life until day 3,319 of the world, meaning he had played a total of 550 to 1,000 real-life hours. Series 2 had officially outlasted Series 1 by a long shot, having started over 2 years earlier.
Good
But
God.
still, Phil continued to build. He transformed the End Island, spawn-proofing it while building an Enderman farm at the center. And he began work on his next big build, Chaos Caverns. The idea was to create a large man-made cavern holding every obtainable hostile mob.
What?
Not an easy task at all.
What? Why would you do that? I mean, other than because it's there. So like the first guy to climb, I think it was the first guy to climb Everest. His name is Sir Edmund Hillary. And they asked him, you know, well, the first guy on record. I'm sure like there were Sherpas that have climbed it before. But yeah, exactly. No, and they asked him, they're like, why did you climb Mount Everest? And his response was, because it's there. So it's like, why did Phil do this? Because it's there.
But Phil was determined.
And for the
And
content,
so
but
he
that's
got to
less
work,
fun.
Exploding, gathering, and building. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, until after a year and a half, it was finally done.
What was the last mob?
And with this, he added yet another incredible build to his timeless world. Phil had officially made it
I need the
over
trivia.
4
What was the
years
last
on
mob?
a single life. Times had changed. Phil had been on YouTube and Twitch for over 11 years and was a lot better at the game than when he started all that time ago. His YouTube channel sat at 2,000 subscribers, a gem hidden from the rest of the world.
Dude, how?
But
Doesn't that make you wonder, though? Doesn't that make you wonder what people out there are sitting with 2,000 subs right now? Who's the next Philza, right? They're out there. You know they are. The next person, I've seen this. I've seen this happen a lot, right? Easy Speezy is a speedrunner. I remember when he had 10,000 subs and he went from like 10K to like 250K in a week. It was ridiculous. I still don't know how. You know, Foolish was doing some pretty amazing things. We've seen the kind of builds that Foolish is capable of. Foolish was at 20K subs until he joined the SMP. So the reason, by the way, that you see the 1,000 days in hardcore is because I think the algorithm favors that. I don't know why I'm holding my comb right now, but I think the algorithm favors those. I wanted to do those, but like I've lost track of my hardcore world on stream. I do still have a fun idea that I want to do on stream one day. If I can get the guts to do a 30-hour stream, we'll have something awesome, friends. I'll leave it at that. But trying to think where I was going with that. What's up, CrossX? It's just, oh yeah, who is the next Philza? The next Philza's out there, but we have no idea. And then again, like that's what I'm saying, Vanilla. Someone's going to do that, and we're all going to be like, oh well, that made sense. But why weren't we in the first 1,000?
Everything
I
was
blame the
about
algorithm.
to change.
show me Philzas. Google, show me Philzas.
It was a day
Alexa,
like any
bring
other.
me future Phil.
Phil was working on his new project, a giant underground witch farm, attempting to dig down to set up a beacon so he could mine it out faster. Because of the major spawn proofing he'd done for the build, mob spawns were at an unnatural high in the surrounding caves. And this fact alone would bring about a moment that would change the course of Phil.
Also, I bought thermal paste, but it came with it pre-applied. I spaced out for a minute, so I gotta get back in
Attempting
here.
to dig down to set up a beacon so he could mine it out faster. Because of the major spawn proofing he'd done for the build, mob spawns were at an unnatural high in the surrounding caves. And this fact alone would bring about a moment that would change the course of Phil's life forever.
Take off the elytra, damn it!
I knew it. No! Really? That's how I die? Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, there's a million different ways where you're like, oh, he could have done that. Uh-oh. Hang on, friends. Hang on, friends. We got to shut chat down. About before we had to take a break here for a second is why, you know, it's easy to figure out in hindsight, right? You're like watching this play out in real time and you're like, why didn't he drop the water? Why didn't he eat the gapple? Why didn't he do those things? But obviously hindsight is 2020 and there's no reason that this should have gone as badly as it did.
No! Really? That's how I die? Oh my god, I'm stupid. Oh, a baby zombie. Oh my god.
It was all over.
Yeah.
Phil had made it 5 years on a single life, only to watch it slip through his hands in less than 30 seconds.
It's
He's
crazy
devastated.
that like it's crazy that his reaction to it wasn't even that like it ends up being what you thought it would be, but at first he's just shocked
To
by
Phil,
it.
it was much more than just a world. It was his canvas, his form of expression, something he could be proud of. And that day, it all went away. For good. But then, something unexpected happened. People started talking, sharing the story of the man who lost his 5-year world. And before long, Philza, after 14 years of YouTube, began to go viral.
These past 40 hours to 3 days, it has been insane. It sucks that it's gone, and man was I salty. But I had no idea how big this moment would be.
Yo, by the way, shout out to the person who clipped that and shared it on Reddit. It's one of those things where we were kind of talking about it earlier at the sad part, you know? But like, Philza would probably not have become this were it not for some kind person who clipped it, were it not for some kind person who shared the clip on Reddit. Like, we all get to where we are with the help of other people. And it's just so amazing that, like, I don't know, I just love that, like, that worked out that way. But still, they did. You know what I'm saying?
It has spread
Gas,
everywhere.
gas.
It is worldwide. The clip has over 1 million views. Too many articles to count. I showed up on British television. It has gone fully viral. There's so many people that
God
this
damn, that's the
moment
dream,
has
dude.
resonated with.
That's
I
the
can't
dream.
even describe it. I've never experienced anything like this. First of all, the main question I keep getting asked: what am I going to do now? More likely, start a new world.
There you go.
That is what I enjoy playing.
They
Hardcore.
did.
Will I last as long as 5 years?
People finally began to take notice. Phil had been on the platform longer than most, and finally, it was his time to shine. But soon, another
Dude, that is so, oh my God, that is the dream, right? And as somebody who, like, you know, I had a couple videos that did all right in the grand scheme of things, but like, that is, dude, I think about that every day, honestly. If we're being honest here, because if you've survived this long into my reaction to this, you probably care about what I have to say. Like, I think about that every day, man. What you do, how you do, but it's funny because Phil wasn't thinking about that at all. Phil was just doing what he does. He's just having fun doing it, you know, and the world found him. But like, my God, if this does not inspire you, if it doesn't inspire anyone watching this to just go for it, I don't know what
Their
will.
opportunity would arise for Phil, something much different from hardcore. An event months in the making, introducing him to some of the largest creators to play the game, Minecraft Monday. Minecraft Monday was a 14-week event created by popular YouTuber
Keemstar ever
Keemstar,
did, question
and
mark?
gathered many large creators from across YouTube to battle it out
wasn't
over a series
invited.
of minigames for $10,000. And luckily for Phil, the event began mere months after he went viral. Meaning with his newfound success and legendary status in the community, he was invited to play. Joining in week 2, Phil would play with Jerome ASF for his first 7 weeks of the event.
Oh, I
Together,
follow
they
Jerome.
play second-
I've never done a Jerome. So Jerome, oh my God, like all of these people I follow, and I've been like, meanwhile, over on a team to himself. Dude, I follow all these people. There's so many people I've wanted to do reactions to, and I just don't. I don't
And
know.
overall in week 2, but after that only managed to peak at 5th place.
Maybe we quit our job and
However,
make content,
Minecraft
fam.
Monday's
What do you think?
real impact on Phil would take place over his final 2 weeks in the
Get
event.
wrecked, Skeppy.
As in week 10, he would be teamed with someone different. A player who had completely taken over the event. A player who, despite the admin's attempts to even the playing field, couldn't stop
James Charles, Jay
winning. Someone
Schlatt.
who would grow to become one of Phil's most loyal friends in the community, Technoblade. Entering the event, Phil and Techno were obvious targets. But quickly it became quite clear that it didn't really matter. Game 1 was Hunger Games, and Phil and Techno got to work straight away, chasing and killing Connor Eats Pants and Captain Sparkles.
Poor Connor.
They were just a few minutes in, and both nearly had full iron armor while Techno held a diamond sword. And feeling confident, the two decided to search for teams to fight. Techno killed Skeppy, Phil killed Afmao, and with that, only one more team.
Aw, poor
remained.
Afmao. I want to react to
Techno
Afmao
quickly
too.
realized that Zerka and Vicstar were not together, and so they rushed in to catch them off guard. And after a very quick fight, Phil and Techno had won their first game. After a solid performance in bingo, things were looking very good with Techno and Phil holding the first and second positions on the individual leaderboards. But things quickly changed with Hide the Button. Phil's
What about
old
my
teammate,
techno voice,
Jerome,
Olivia?
along with Beijing Canadian, had an amazing performance, shooting them all the way up to second place right on Techno and Phil's tail. This was concerning, but the two were still very confident they could win. And lucky for them, Game 5 was Skywars.
I'm playing
Technoblade
Minecraft
was
with an old
amazing
man.
at
Let's
Skywars,
go.
having played it consistently for years on Hypixel. And sure enough, Techno and Phil dominated Skywars, winning all 3 games and increasing their lead by 150 points. They were now just
Techno's
over
almost in
halfway through
second
the
place
event,
by
and things
himself.
were looking good. All they needed to do was hold their first place position and they would win $10,000. And with a solid performance in TNT Run, a victory in One Shot, and a good game of Spleef, it was finally time for the last game of the event, Hunger Games.
I think they're
All
fine.
Phil and Techno needed to do was perform good enough to hold their position in first, and glory was theirs. With the start of the game, they immediately ran to the outer reaches of the map to scavenge the land for supplies.
I feel like they could literally just... No, suspicious. I know it was half and half. That's what I'm saying, though, is they both had enough points that they were each in, like, third place individually. Like, that's how much they were rolling in this one. I feel like you could just camp at this point, and you'd be
And
fine.
2 minutes in, they managed to get Techno a full set of iron armor and a diamond sword. And so,
It's
they began
over.
to hunt.
Why
Techno
even play it
managed to
out at
pick
that
up a
point?
quick kill on a clueless Grande in a nearby forest,
Grande!
getting Phil a chain chest plate. Feeling good, the two headed back to middle, and with a team effort took out High Sky, claiming yet another diamond sword. The numbers began to thin, and before long only a few teams stood between them and victory. A very intense fight broke out at mid, killing Phil in the midst of the chaos.
But I love that at this
Techno
point,
lived.
Techno was still just like that dude who was the spoiler.
Agreed to end it all with a fistfight to the death. And living up to his reputation, Techno won. Together, Phil and Techno had dominated the event, ranking first and second on the individual leaderboards. But more importantly, their friendship that began that day would go into something special. Something shaping many of Phil's future adventures, and something he could never lose to a baby zombie. But Techno wasn't the only friend Phil made during Minecraft Monday. In week 12, Phil teamed with someone new who would play an equally important role in his future, Wilbur Soot. And although they didn't quite win the event, the friendship that resulted would provide a gateway to Phil's next adventure. As a few months later, in late November 2019, Wilbur would begin a new server, taking place on a scaled-down replica of the world, including many mods.
I'm like... It's so wholesome, but... My God, if it's not... I said this before, like, it's inspirational. I don't know. You know, SMP Earth, like... I missed all of this. It's funny to me because... I come from the oldie days of I watched I'm gonna date myself a little bit here, but I started watching Red vs. Blue when season 1 was new episodes. I started watching Achievement Hunter in 2012. I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged at like episode 5, I think. Yeah, the first Achievement Hunter video I watched was when they played Wipeout. It was episode 10 of their Minecraft series. And I've been playing Minecraft since then, right? And it's just interesting that there was this whole world of content that I never knew existed, you know? Suspicious. If you don't know any of the references, I started playing Minecraft in 2012. But I don't know. Like, I'm shy, you know? And, never really thought about making content, never really cared much about, like, YouTube. I was just sort of doing my own DBZ. Okay, funny story, and just because this is already a long video. DBZ Abridged, I found out in Hawaii. I went with my ex-wife to her brother's house. He lived in Hawaii at the time. And while we were there, they left because they didn't get along well with me. So I got left at their house and I had nothing to do all day. And so I started watching DBZ Abridged. It was during when Goku was fighting the Ginyu Force. So it would have been an episode in the 20s, 21, 22, something like that. But all this stuff is going on, and I just play Minecraft, you know? I log in after a terrible day, and I mine, right? I log in after a crappy day and build my dirt and my stone huts. I don't know that I ever got better because I never really tried. I just did it because, you know, it was the thing to do when you had a crappy day. But it's this weird feeling where, like, I wish I was where I am now 3 years ago, 2 years ago, because it would have been fun to maybe have an opportunity to be a part of something like this. I don't know. I'm probably not a big enough person to be a part of it now, but like, it makes me want to find what is this that's out right now, right? What is the SMP Earth of right now? I mean, it's probably the Dream SMP, right? But you just see all this stuff and it makes you want to do more. Like, it makes you want to be better. You know, you want to be a part of something that's bigger than what you're doing now, which we are. You know, the Dream Team podcast is slowly taking over the world. That's a pretty amazing thing. But yeah, it's just, it's so wild to see all this stuff and have all this Nostalgia for things.
To spice up the game and holding upwards of 100 other creators, this was SMP Earth.
Dude, I can't wait for the comments. Just watch the video, no one cares.
The sun rises on a fresh new world. Oceans waiting to be sailed, forests eager to be explored, and at the center lie dozens of players ready to lay their claims on the land. Phil originally
Of course,
planned to
Tommy was
claim
just in the
Iceland,
front of
but
everything.
upon getting notice of a band of players plotting to kill him, decided instead to team with Technoblade at the South Pole. And together, the duo formed the beginning of the Antarctic Empire. Immediately, they
Not
got
surprised?
to defending their land, killing another player who looked to be hostile. But the fighting wasn't over yet. A low rumble came from the skies. Suddenly, erupting into view was Spifey, zooming through the air in a plane. Startled,
Spifey!
Techno and
I follow
Phil prepared
Spifey on
to attack,
Instagram.
And as he doubled back to attempt to ram Techno off the mountain,
We stand
Phil
Spifey.
managed to strike him with his sword, scaring him away. With their land now fully secured, Phil and Techno ventured deeper into the mountain, discovering an existing stronghold over a massive underground cave expanding down over 150 blocks.
I love that
They
line.
began descending into the depths.
We can
of
be
the
gods or
cave.
not, it's up
Techno
to you.
invited a new player to their faction, VoiceOver Pete. For the rest of the day, the three continued to claim land, expanding their territory over much of Australia. They also received many requests for allegiances,
Let's
including
go!
an unsuccessful attempt
I was not expecting the FitMC cameo. Can you please explain to me why I am so cold playing Minecraft? I came here from Australia. I was hoping you could direct me to the oldest anarchy server of Minecraft. I'm used to Florida, where the coldest it gets is 75 degrees.
upcoming YouTuber Tommy Innit, who was not exactly
Can you
satisfied
direct
with
me
their
to my
answer,
classroom?
reminding them that war was also an option. Over the next week, the Antarctic Empire continued to make small advances, including various
Dude, every Sunday, FitMC's live streams, I am there. Dude, I am there every Sunday. I love those live streams.
farms and better gear. But something was about to happen that would change everything. The factions mod that ran on SMP Earth allowed territories to claim land based on the amount of players they had in their faction. And having 3 members, the Antarctic Empire was able to claim 3,000 chunks of land, which wasn't much compared to the size of the map. But Techno discovered a way around this. Using an autofill feature of the mod, they would only have to claim the perimeter for the mod to autofill the rest of the land inside to be theirs. Meaning, world domination. And after Techno and Phil had completed their journey around the world, they pulled up the map to see if their plan had worked.
Oh my god!
What?
The map.
What?
Oh no.
That's amazing!
Antarctic Empire owns the world.
What?
Word quickly spread across the
I
server,
love that
and
so
before
much.
long, everyone had logged on to see what the Empire had done. Quickly, the people became angry, and the server, led by Wilbur Soot, met in France to hold the trial of the Antarctic Empire. First, it was argued whether a crime had even been committed, as Techno pointed out that technically taking over the world was completely lawful. But quickly, it became obvious that the people would not just let them free.
Yeah, but that's garbage, right? That's such garbage. You know, they played by the rules. It's not our fault that they made bad rules. Although you see all the time from the 100-player challenges, Wilbur does not like when you find a way around the rules. And I already see Josh is in chat. When Wilbur gets Josh on the phone, bad things happen to people.
So, after requests for execution and vows of brotherhood, everyone agreed that the Empire would be let free upon returning to their home in Antarctica and unclaiming the rest of the world. Satisfied, everyone
was
returned to
drama.
life as normal, and a new law was created prohibiting world domination.
No taking the whole world.
A few weeks would
Okay,
pass
I'm on
before
board
the
with
next
that.
conflict. The Antarctic Empire constructed a large railway
Mauve, I am a fun apologist, okay? I will apologize for anything that ends up being
connecting
fun.
their land to Australia and began work on another base farther west.
Wilbur's
But
just
then,
mad he didn't think
Phil
of it
was
first.
alerted by Techno of an incoming enemy, contracted to assassinate him. Immediately, the Empire got in position to defend their land from the rogue assassin, until they realized who exactly was planning to attack them. Suddenly, a lot less concerned, Pete and Techno made their way down the path, managing to kill Tommy while Phil watched from the safety
Poor
of their
Tommy.
lane. Over the rest of the day, Techno and Pete seeked revenge on Tommy and killed him many more times after, making sure he would not try anything like that again, which obviously didn't stop him. SMP Earth would not end for another few months, but after this point, Phil and later many other creators ended SMP Earth content on YouTube. Over his time on the server, Phil had continued to grow closer to Technoblade and Wilbur, while also befriending.
It's interesting to me how these SMPs now, it feels like, have shorter and shorter lifespans. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a very odd thing to me that, like, because if you look at some of that stuff, you see where, like, look at the free trial SMP. That thing only hung around for a week, you know? And they've not started anything since then, so you never know.
Tommy in it over their various conflicts. And together, the four would continue to stand by each other's sides in adventures to come.
Well, the Epic SMP, everyone got canceled.
One of those adventures began shortly after the beginning of SMP Earth in late November
I was so,
2019.
oh my god. I'm sorry, Evan, I don't mean to talk over you. The Epic SMP, I was so pumped for Jaden to be on a server. I was pumped for Eddie Burback to be on a server. Maybe I should start the next one. Do we need the YoBGS MP? What are we thinking? What are we thinking about that?
The community felt a void following the sudden ending to Minecraft Monday.
Yo, if you have a
in week
million
14.
subscribers, DM
It had been
me.
the first
and
major
maybe
Minecraft event
I'll let
in
you
a long
in.
time, and the community longed for more. But lucky for them, they wouldn't have to wait long, as a new event would begin only a short month later. An event much different from the likes of Minecraft Monday. This event was Minecraft Championship. Phil joined Minecraft Championship in their very first week, and immediately knew it would be much different than Minecraft Monday. While Minecraft Monday felt strictly like an intense competition, MCC brought that same level of competitiveness contrasted with a lighthearted, almost arcade-like setting.
Imagine if
The
your
people
job was
loved
to
it,
play
and the players loved it
to
even
make
more.
Minecraft Championship.
During the first two events, things started looking pretty good for Phil. His team in week 1 had a rough day, finishing 7th out of 10, but in week 2, his team would make it all the way to the final duel, losing tragically to the Aqua Horses. It was a crushing blow.
Aqua Horses?
but the
That's
team
not
wouldn't last
alliteration.
long, as in week 4, Phil would be teamed with 3 of his best friends, Wilbur, Tommy,
Oh, one
and
of my
Techno.
favorite videos ever was the story of the Sleepy Boys.
The day was Saturday, April 18th. The team had been practicing for weeks, and the moment had finally arrived. They knew this could very well be their only chance to win together, as after that event, it was likely that the four would not team again for a long time.
Because Technoblade
So,
is broken.
More determined than ever, the team made their way to the Decision Dome to vote on the first game. Game
Dude,
1
Techno
was
is the
Skywalker.
number one.
Phil began
Tommy's
by
the top
gathering wood and
5.
crafting tools for the team.
Good lord.
Meanwhile, Wilbur started bridging towards middle, but didn't make it very far. Phil took over Wilbur's job and built his way to the middle, making him the first player there. He immediately took advantage of this, gathering loot from many of the chests. So far, ignoring Wilbur's death, things were looking good. Phil held mid, securing a kill on blue and swooping in with an elytra to take out yet another player. But the aerial assault was far from over. The team spotted a massive fight below and decided to drop down and join. Phil crashed down from the skies onto a helpless Captain Sparkles, but then fell to the rest of his team.
Poor helpless Captain
However,
Sparkles.
it was enough, as Techno and Tommy were able to take out the rest of the players with little problem.
Just for you, Battery.
Securing their team first place after game 1. So far, the team was off to a hot start, and over the rest of the event, it would only get better.
Dear God, they steamrolled. I gotta watch some of this without pausing because we still have 20 minutes of this. I love these montages. This was such a smart decision on Evan's part. I love this video. And let's be honest, we've all seen this multiple times. The story of them just detonating everybody. He really does. It's a mood, that's for sure. Ah, I love the overlays. Purple Pandas versus it doesn't matter who.
This was their chance. All that stood between Phil and his first ever win were the Green Guardians. They all prepared for the final battle. One last game to
Who's on their
decide it
team?
all.
You got Pete,
Dodgeball.
who is really
Phil
good.
stared coldly into the eyes of the enemy, focused as he'd ever been and determined to stay alive at all costs. The clock ticked to 0 and the battle began.
Don't let
Tommy
the pig
managed to get
kid
the
win.
first shot off and took out Pete, who happened to be the Guardians' best player. Returning fire, Keemstar and Michael McChill hit Tommy and
Pete
Wilbur,
is every
leaving
team's
the
best
round
player.
to Techno and Phil. Techno got out Vic, and Phil led a bit too far in front of Michael. It was back to dodging. The two jumped every which way, hoping to confuse the Guardians enough
Who else
to
is
miss.
on the team? Keemstar and who?
And it worked. Phil sprinted to the center of the arena, launching a shot directly into Michael, leaving only Burren left on the Guardians
Oh,
side.
Burren!
And with a
How
single shot
ironic!
from Techno,
Then Michael
round
and
one
Burren end
went
up
the
on
Panthers.
Dream and Techno's team.
All they had to do was win one more round, and the championship would be theirs. They all lined up for round 2, and as the clock struck 0, Phil began to dodge.
I got one.
Nailed him!
I got Pete.
Let's go, Phil!
Two arrows.
Oh, they're going. No. I hit the wrong one.
There we go.
Oh, you got.
Yep.
Oh, Keemstar better frame that shot.
I'm out.
Nice.
Yes, let's do it. We win Minecraft Championship.
They had
Sweep.
done it. After one of the best team performances
The
in
crown
history
over
of the
Techno's
tournament,
face
Phil
is
and
so
the rest
perfect.
Of the team had finally
So
won.
fitting.
And scoring 3rd on the individual leaderboards, Phil had put up his best performance yet. Over the rest of the tournaments, Phil's teams would perform fairly average with the exception of an amazing winning performance in MCC 12. And
With
his
Tapple,
journey in
nice.
Minecraft Championship is still far from over, as he continues to participate in the events to this day. MCC
Phil is
gave
good.
Phil yet
Phil
another
is crazy
opportunity
good at
to meet
MCC.
new creators in the community, as well as strengthen the friendships he had already made. But his next adventure would prove
So where
to
are we
be
going for the
even
last 15
bigger.
minutes? Dream SMP?
Something that would grow his channel even more than dying after 5 years of hardcore. Joining his friends Techno, Wilbur, and Tommy, he would enter the world of the Dream SMP.
The Millionaire Maker! As I affectionately call the server.
Whenever I'm here, I'm reminded
Ah!
of this.
It looks like a stone face! Time out! Ah! Look at this! It looks like one of those heads at Easter Island. You guys seeing this? Am I high or are you seeing this? Or both? This is an Easter Island head. With a little piece of yellow wool here. The face in this mountain. EvanMCGaming's. I'm watching you, Evan. I see the Evan ARG.
Whenever I'm here, I'm reminded of the song that I've scribbled on the walls. That there was a special place. There was a special place. And there was definitely that special place did exist once. It did. But even
Manberg, Phil.
I don't think it can exist again. This is, if I'm gonna press it ever, it's now. The thing that I built this nation for doesn't exist anymore. The thing I worked towards doesn't exist anymore. It's over.
What are you doing?
Phil? Do you know what this button is?
Uh-huh. I do.
I was just saying, I made this big point that it's that there was a special place where men could go, but it's
If he
not
pushes
there
that
anymore.
button,
No,
the
it's
beat
not.
drops harder than it's ever dropped
You've just-
before.
You've just won it back, Will.
Phil, I'm always so close to pressing this button, Phil. I've been here like 7 or 8 times. I've been here.
and you want to just blow it all up.
There was a saying, Phil, by a traitor, once part of the Manberg. It was never meant to be.
Oh my god. Oh my god! Will! It's all gone!
That is a beautiful shot, by the way.
I'm the Manberg, Phil! My unfinished symphony, forever unfinished!
Shout out to Seek's Animations, by the way.
No one can, Phil! Kill me, Phil. Phil, kill me. Phil, kill me. Phil, stab me with the sword. Murder me now.
No matter what you want, I can't.
Phil, kill me, Phil. Murder me. Look, they all want you to.
Everything was gone. Phil stood in.
The problem is, because Minecraft skins don't emote, you look at this face and he might as well be like, so, you guys thinking Arby's? You guys, this game night? I was told we didn't have to bring dishes. I was told this wasn't a potluck. But I brought, beer, something?
Everything was gone. Phil stood in shock. He had joined only to witness one of his best friends fall to chaos. He had no choice but to kill him, as he knew he would be associated with the destruction if he didn't. And so, he took Wilbur's last life on the server, setting him free.
Yeah, debatable.
Phil had joined the Dream SMP during the climax of one of its largest wars, getting tossed right into the midst of chaos. But Phil saw something in the ashes of Lemanberg, an opportunity to help the people recover from the destruction that reigned on their sacred land, an opportunity to rebuild. And so, in the coming days, as new Lemanberg sprouted from the depths of the crater, Phil constructed his house in the new land.
See, I missed this part of the Philza arc. I just know that he lives out with Technoblade.
Phil found himself questioning their authority. Tubbo, as Lemanberg's new president, couldn't even keep his own friend from causing chaos, and when it came down to it, had no hesitation exiling him.
Nah, he hesitated quite a bit.
If he was willing to exile his best friend, what would Tubbo be willing to do to him if their interests conflicted in the future? Rather, Phil's allegiances lied with his old friend, Technoblade. Techno found himself in a tough situation following his contribution to the destruction of Lemanberg. The people hated him for it, and since they all knew where he lived.
I love that shot of Technoblade, even though it doesn't quite adequately, it doesn't adequately show when Techno accidentally put the head on the side of the soul sand, and then he had to be like, oh, excuse me, this never happens, I swear.
He knew he had to move. And contacting the only
person
he could
Ghost.
Trust, Techno and Phil moved his home far away, to a much different land, a lonely light in a sea of snow. But it wouldn't be long before Phil's relationship with Techno
all of
would
these
get in
shots that
trouble
Evan
with
captured are just god
One
tier.
day,
They're so
he noticed
good.
the cabinet making their way towards his house. And as Phil watched from the window, he knew his fears about Lemanberg were finally coming true.
We are looking for Technoblade. Just tell us where he is. You're a citizen of Lemanberg. We're trying to get justice for our country.
I'm not going to tell you. He's changed his ways.
This is for the country. This is not a request. This is a demand.
Where do you think this loyalty that I have for this country exists? I'm not loyal to this country at all. I'm pretty new here, and if anything, you guys need to prove to me that I should care.
Phil, you're not helping. You're not helping your cause here, Phil.
And we do not rat out on each other.
If you're not gonna help us do it the easy way, we're gonna have to do it the hard way, right?
Right?
Right, fellas, look through his thing.
Oh, come on.
Hey, big you.
Yeah.
What I found.
This is a compass called Techno's compass. Philza, never forget that you weren't cooperative with us today.
Dude, the Butcher Army arc was just savage.
Imagine you will be put under house arrest.
Okay.
All right, wait.
Which way does it go?
Phil had no time to worry for himself. He had to warn his friend. And messaging Techno about the army closing in on his location, Phil decided to follow them to witness the event himself.
See, I like that canonically the way that, and I don't know if this is what the actual canon is, it's more headcanon, but I like that Phil was somehow able to tell a crow that flew to Technoblade, or that Phil is canonically one of Techno's voices. And so Techno can pick Phil's voice out of all the noise in his head.
Hiding at the edge of a nearby forest, Phil witnessed everything. He saw his friend being taken away from his life of peace to be killed for his acts of war. And so, he had no choice but to return to his house to avoid suffering the same fate. He watched as Techno was caged below an anvil ready to drop on his head at the flick of a lever. And then, something
Why did they get so
unexpected happened.
He ruined the government. Puns is throwing right. What
does he do?
What is Puns doing?
Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Oh shoot!
Hello, Ghostbird.
I've named him friend.
That's fantastic, Ghostbird. That's fantastic. I'm about to die, Ghostbird.
No, I'm playing this one.
What? No. What?
What? How did he not die?
What?
He's got Carl. He's got Carl.
And Techno just
Techno had
left.
managed to escape, but Phil remained trapped. Over the next few weeks, Phil began digging his escape route, eventually managing to break his ankle monitor with a magma block. And with the help of Techno, he escaped the confines of his home completely undetected. As they made their way through
That's
the
actually
land of
really
snow,
smart. I like the
Techno
magma
explained
block
it was
method.
time for L'Manberg to be destroyed for good. They had hurt innocent people, refused to acknowledge change, and with the help of Dream, the three knew they had everything they needed to destroy every last.
No. Why? Also, nice touch to put this little piece of coal here, Evan. I see you. Shout out to the piece of coal.
Block of the once great land. Phil didn't hate L'Manberg. He hated what it did to people. L'Manberg had turned people violent,
Not
drove his
Doomsday.
friend mad, and as much as he wanted to live a peaceful life, L'Manberg had taken that option away the day they hurt Techno. And so, he joined the two, destroying L'Manberg for the last time.
It's all over, but the cry, and nobody's crying but me.
With the destruction of L'Manberg, Phil and Techno returned to their home with a sense of satisfaction. They truly hoped the people would learn their lesson and move on. Over the following months, Phil would continue to livestream on the Dream SMP, and his contribution to the story and involvement in the community led to
They used that song in the promos for Fallout 3. That's an old group called the Ink Spots. Look them up if you've never had the chance. Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
the biggest spike in growth he'd ever seen. And that leads us to the final stories of the Legend of Philza. As in the midst of his new adventures, Phil stayed true to his word, beginning a new world of hardcore.
Sorry, I didn't change. My volume
Phil
should be
began
the same
Series
as it
3
always
shortly
was.
after his devastating death in his
But I'll turn it
5-year
down
world,
more.
motivated by his much bigger audience. Rather than streaming to 10 to 20 viewers, Phil now found himself peaking in the hundreds. And so, excited to see where the series would take him, Phil created the world, beginning a new journey. The
Good
game
for
had
him.
changed a lot since he started his life.
You gotta love that he didn't do that again until he was ready. And I know, because usually I'm in Philza's stream before I start my own.
Last world.
30 day SMP. I notice Evan's not devoting a lot of time to that.
Series 3 would be played in 1.14, meaning that the oceans held a lot of value in shipwrecks and buried treasure. This greatly reduced the amount of mining necessary off the start of a new world. Phil began the world by exploring a nearby ocean, looting shipwrecks and finding buried treasure before diving deep into the caves to mine.
Evan's
The days
excited
went
again.
by. Phil continued to progress through the game, making his way to the Nether, finding a skeleton spawner right next to spawn, and eventually finding the stronghold. By this point, Phil was a week and a half into the new
Zero
world, and
eyes.
things were going
Hashtag
very
never lucky.
well. All he needed to do was kill the dragon, and he would have access to the outer islands of the End, where he could grab an elytra by looting an End city. And he managed to take it out fairly easily with the help of a pumpkin to protect himself from Endermen and slow falling potions to eliminate fall damage. And so, there he stood, just one pearl away from the outer reaches of the end. And feeling ready as ever, Phil sent his pearl through the gateway.
Time to go through. What?
Oh no!
No! Really?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, we got glitched out of the fucking world, dude. Oh, come on. What am I meant to do about that? What am I meant to do?
That is actual crap right there.
What am I meant to do? I tried.
Phil had died to a glitch. And although he had only been playing for a week and a half, it was still...
In hindsight, though, he's holding pearls. He could have pearl clutched.
Oh, we got glitched out of the fucking world, dude. Oh, come on. What am I meant to do about that? What am I meant to do? What am I meant to do? I tried.
Well, I mean, free trial's
Phil
over
had
now.
died
It's well
to a
past
glitch.
30 days.
And although he had only been playing for a week and a half, it was still disappointing. Shortly after, he decided to head back to the gateway and test ways to counter the glitch in creative mode. And after some testing, he came to the conclusion that it was a rendering error, and could be countered a number of ways, including pausing the game while teleporting and turning down render distance. Phil also just so happened to die in the middle of a 24-hour stream, and having planned to play in the Series 3 world the rest of the stream, he decided why not go again.
Yeah, why not?
And so, just minutes after his death in Series 3...
Oh, I didn't know he glitched. I thought it was something where, like, he fell, but he had control after he fell. I didn't know about
Phil
the other
began
part.
Series 4. And with the glitch out of the way, he felt confident that this world would last much longer. Phil began Series 4 the exact same way as Series 3, getting basic tools and exploring the ocean. All in all, he managed to find plenty of shipwrecks and buried treasure, 2 villages, 2 desert temples, and a nether fortress in the span of about 14 hours.
I mean,
Series
pretty
4
awesome
was off to a
freaking
great start and would continue at a very quick pace. Phil gathered better gear, established his home at spawn, and made his way back to the end to fight the dragon, which he managed to take out the exact same way as Series 3. And as he stared down the deep void,
Be careful this time!
This time, he was ready. The journey to the end city was a risky one, and so Phil made sure to take every precaution to ensure his survival. And sure enough, he got it. Before he could begin work on major builds, he had a few more things he had to do. First, he needed a solid XP farm, which he got from an Enderman farm he built in the end. Next, he needed to continue to explore and find
I've never
structures
built
to
a
create
mob farm
farms.
before.
That way
I
he
really
would be
want
able to gather
to.
resources as efficiently as possible. And quickly, he found success looting end cities for backup elytras, as well as locating a woodland mansion, ocean monument, witch hut, and pillager outpost. All of which proved very useful when making use of their unique spawn mechanics. And so, he pushed forward,
the amount of
looting
game
the
knowledge
mansion,
you have
clearing
to
the
have.
monument, killing more dragons, and getting better loot until the day finally arrived to announce his first build. His biggest project yet. Taking place in the end, Phil would be completely terraforming the land, creating a new area, known as Endlantis.
I love it!
Endlantis would be completely submerged in water, holding custom biomes and an Enderman farm at the center of it all.
Oh.
Phil knew this project would take months, but time would no longer be a problem. As a few days later, Phil announced that he was quitting his job and going full-time on YouTube and
I'm amazed he waited this long. That is a but then again, this is the guy who spent 5 years in one hardcore world, so his discipline is obviously there, but...
Twitch. He had come a long way.
That's so
since
exciting,
Series 2,
dude!
now averaging thousands of viewers per stream instead of hundreds. He was engaged to his fiancée Kristen, who he actually met on one of his streams during Series 2 and would soon be able to afford getting married. Phil was finally living his dream. And with more free time than he ever had before, Phil began work on Endlantis.
What do? We mine. We craft. We listen to the montage. But I like it this way, Squirtle. I like that it's segmented. The chapters make it way easier to follow than jumping all around. He actually got husks to spawn in the end. Or not husks, drowned. Dude, we get it. You're good at Minecraft. Oh my god, he's amazing. That's so cool. And coral reefs, dude, I'm about them. I'm here for it. So what does he do now? That is the question.
4 months later, it was done. TNT duplicators, covering the land with water, months of designing, all for this. A build truly unmatched by any other Phil had made. And with its completion, Phil had already made plans for his next major build.
Ooh,
His
the
plan
timing
was
on that,
fairly
well
simple.
done.
He would begin by mining out a large section of the Nether completely, leaving nothing but bedrock at the top and bottom. As he was doing this, he would create a large cube-shaped structure out of black concrete and black glass, enclosing a large space inside. And in this new space, made to look like a complete void, he would build a massive quartz fortress near the center of
I thought he was just turning it into a
walls.
nightclub.
The build would also grow to include a large crystal structure that functioned as a wither skeleton farm, and battleships coming through a portal as if trying to attack.
Nice!
As well as many other small touches throughout the area.
Dude, how do you envision
all coming
this?
together to create a truly
Like, how do you even start? Oh my god, I love that concept. Like, to be able to think of this and then have the ability to execute on it.
blowing.
Galaxy brain.
And with the completion of the Fortress, that is where Phil's YouTube content
the
has left
Fortress.
off. On Twitch, however, he has moved forward with his next major build. A callback to his Ocean Monument build in Series 2, Flower Fall.
That's what I saw that
Over the
one.
course of
Like,
Series
that's
4, Phil
okay.
has also
I
created his
recognize
own
that.
lore for his world to help give his builds a story. And it goes sorta like this. In Phil's world exist various gods, each ruling over different lands and having different powers. The worst of all is the Ender King, who's always trying to take the best parts of other worlds to make his own. One day, he attempted to shrink down and steal a nether fortress for himself, and he was successful. What resulted was the creation of the Nether Void, which was attempted to be repaired by the Blaze Empress with the creation of the Fortress. But the Ender King...
Dude, in my world, I try not to die. Some pretty good lore right there.
didn't stop there.
Some spicy
he took
lore.
his reign of terror to the seas, where he succeeded in stealing an ocean monument from an entity known as the Ocean Overlord, who happened to be asleep during the attack, and finding the ocean in ruins. Yet another entity who is yet to be named attempted to fix the area, creating Flower Fall. Finally, as the Ender King's largest plot of all, he attempted to combine the three realms of the Nether and an Overworld into one, resulting in a major conflict. And as the battle drew to a close,
battle for
the Ender King
Atlantis,
was
I'm
left
assuming.
at a loss, resulting in what we now know as Atlantis.
Yeah.
But the story is far from over.
Dude, hell yeah.
In fact, it continues to be written with every passing day. As of now, Phil has survived in his Series 4 world for just over 2 years. And barring some disastrous glitch or major oversight, it looks like it will not be ending anytime soon. Over his 14-year journey on YouTube, Phil has managed to create a community truly like no other. A community that helped him make his dreams come true, changing his life.
Again, if
forever.
that does not inspire
And Phil
you, you are
continues
dead.
to this
That's
day to
all I
inspire
can think.
people by the millions.
That's all I can
to
say.
create,
That is such
to
a...
work towards something big and to make the most of the one life they have. Because when you push yourself and the world around you to the very limits, truly amazing things will happen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the legend of Philza.
God, it's like... EvanMC, everybody. EvanMC, and the most remarkable storytelling that you are going to find
Around you
anywhere.
To the very limits, truly amazing things will happen.
It's wild because...
And that,
I'm trying to
ladies and
stop on the
gentlemen,
graphic
is the
here.
legend.
There we go. I just wanted the nice little graphic there. But it's amazing because you see throughout the course of these videos so many people's dreams coming true, right? Like Evan's, you know, because this video is massive. You see Philza's dreams coming true. You see Mumza's dreams coming true. Technoblades, as he's like a part of his team. It's this community of people who all wanted the same goal. And over the course of this, like Phil really is sort of, you know, this eternal character almost. Because over his 15-year journey, you see all of these other people also on their own journeys. It's the coolest thing. Like, and the way Evan told the story is just otherworldly. And I'm happy. I know Creeper's behind me, but I'm happy because, you know, we got to talk to Evan on the podcast, the Dream Team podcast. That episode should be coming out in a few days from when I post this, which is going to be awesome. Apart from that, I don't know. Like I said, this inspired me. There's so much I want to do beyond just reaction content. I don't know, friends. Maybe someday I'll get off my butt and do it. Maybe this inspired me, but I don't think there's any better way to end the stream today than with something that heartwarming. And in traditional, you know, Philza fashion like his streams, if you are on Twitch, we are going to rate a smaller streamer. We're going to pass the love to someone else. If you are on YouTube, take care, my friends.